So Owen, do you think that the whole thing that's driving big data right now, because you mentioned it earlier, do you think it comes from the sort of same roots?
I think it's similar roots. I mean, HANA's not completely focused at solving the big data problem. It enables you to do both, traditional OLTP and analytical processing as well. So it's more than just fixing the big data problem. So it can be used to solve the big data problem, but I think it's more than that. So a bit of a different spin on it.
Mike, would you like?
I think the thing with, from a big data perspective, if you actually think about what's happening in businesses as the years go on, is that there are more and more transactions, there's more and more data, and I think when something like HANA came along, all of a sudden there's a big sigh of relief because they thought, at last, because the biggest challenge that we had was trying to find an innovative way to actually enable you to process and deliver something as these volumes grew. So, something like in-memory is just had to happen, from a perspective of somebody who's trying to deliver a solution.
And are there specific industries that are early adopters, or is it fairly well across the board?
I think you see there are some obvious industries that are driving the early adoption where they have a data problem, where their data volumes are huge. So utilities is a good example, where they've got the smart metering problem, where they're starting to read people's meters every half an hour across millions of customers. So soon gives you a large data problem. They had a large data problem anyway. Telecoms are in the same group. I think probably next down in the league would be your CPG companies, where they've got hundreds of thousands of products, and the same on the customer side. So the combination of those becomes quite large. So I think you certainly see people saying, I've already got some pain in my system. There are bits of it that I know are slow, and they're looking at HANA, I think, first. There are other people I speak to who are saying, well, actually, I don't have a problem. It's doing fine. And I think that comes back down to people just starting to see, well, that's just only one piece of the HANA story, is just speeding up what you do today. There's the what are you going to do different? I guess, to use an SAP term, what's the next practice that you're going to discover in your industry that's going to, that someone's going to be doing with HANA that you're not?
And Mike, are you seeing a similar thing?
I think the other industry sector that I observed in the early years were the finance industry. Yeah, finance were very much, and once again, it's people who've got lots of transactions, lots of data, so they need something that actually can hold that amount of data, but particularly can process it very, very quickly.